Hi, my name is Mindy Hank, and I am going to be doing my midterm video. I am probably going to do it in two different sections, and the reason why is because I'd like to go through all of the stuff that we have as far as extra stuff, and then stop the video and go through all of the bones in a second video. So, the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to go from the directional terms to body cavities, quadrants. Then I'm going to go over to the planes, regions, processes, joints, the organs of the body that she has listed, and last, the other information. So let's go ahead and get started. We have directional terms, and for some of these, it was just kind of a put in your answer. So the sternum is anterior to the heart, as we know, sternum, heart. The femur is proximal to the tibia, and I'm sorry if you can't really see. I tried to do this as best as I could, but the femur is proximal to the tibia. The skull is superior to the sternal notch, obviously. And then we have kind of the written out terms where we have ventral and anterior, which is facing forward. We have dorsal and proximal, which is backwards, behind the body. We have the midline, which is from here going in towards the center of the body. We have inferior, which is away from the head. So this would be going in this direction. And then we have, let's see, where am I? Here we go. Distal, which is away from the trunk of the body. So it's going from here down, and the next one, which is proximal, which is coming up from here towards the trunk of the body. Okay, moving on to body cavities. We have the thoracic cavity, which is here. It holds the heart, lungs, obvious. The pelvic cavity, which is here. It is the bladder and part of the large intestine, the colon, things like that. We have orbital cavities, which is our eyes, orbits. It's pretty much the house of your eyeballs. We have sinus cavities, which obviously your sinuses are in your nose, so that would be your nasal cavity. Ear cavities, kind of a given. Eardrums, your ears, which is on the skeleton here. Then we have the dorsal body cavity, which is, let me turn him around, the nervous system. So it would be the skull and the spine here, and it protects the brain and the spinal cord. And then we have abdominal cavity, which is here, pretty much the internal organs. We have the large and small intestines, digestive tract, things like that. And then ventral body cavity, which is pretty much your thoracic and your abdominal. So it's from this region down to about here. So, quadrants. We have the right upper quadrant, which is obviously here, which houses the liver, gallbladder, part of the stomach, and I think I already said small and large intestine, part of the small and large intestine. And as we go down, we have the right lower quadrant, which is the colon and large intestine, parts of the small intestine, and the bladder, which is here. It pretty much cuts it in half, so you have part of your bladder on one side. Moving over to the left lower quadrant, which would be on this side, we would have the small intestine, part of the colon, and again, the other half of the bladder. And moving up to the left-right quadrant, left upper quadrant, right, we have, I didn't say this before, but we also have a diaphragm right in there, and that is cut directly in half. So we have part of the diaphragm, we have part of the small and large intestines again. So that is the left upper quadrant. Then, as we move on, we have the planes of the body, which, to begin with, we have the transverse plane, and that plane just kind of cuts the body in half, about here. We have the frontal plane, which cuts the body this way. So you have the front half of your body, and you have the back half of your body. Then we have the medial plane, which pretty much just cuts your body right here, straight down the center. Moving on to the regions of the body, we have the epigastric region, which is kind of this region right here. Sorry, I'm standing because I'm trying to use myself also rather than just him. So we have this area here, which is the liver, the diaphragm, part of the stomach, and a tiny little bit of the gallbladder also. We have the pubic region, which is, again, this area here, which houses the small intestine and the urinary bladder, or bladder, plain and simple. We have the right iliac region, which is on the right side, which would be this side, and it is actually right here, so it's just to the other side of your pubic region, and that houses the part of the large intestine and the appendix. We then have the left lumbar region, which would be here. It's kind of this area right here, and the little man. And then that houses the part of the colon and part of the small intestine. And the last that we have listed on here is the, I have a hard time pronouncing this one, umbilicus, which is like right in the very center of your body for the most part. It's, your navel, and it houses your small intestine for the most part, part of your colon, I guess, also. So that would be the umbilicus. Moving on to the processes, we have the transverse process, which, if we look at Mr. Fred here, we have the transverse processes, which are right here. And again, these are on all of the vertebra. We have the spinous process, which is here, which pretty much makes up your spine, of course. We have